Hi there again, BookTube. Leanne here, and welcome back to another video. I am wearing the same clothes because I'm recording multiple videos in one day, so that's why. So again, I'm going to do a screen recording of me looking on Goodreads. This is going to be a video about the worst rated books that I've read. So let's see some Goodreads shade and see what people have rated the worst of everything I have personally read and see if they're actually bad ratings. So let's pop on a screen recording, go on to Goodreads, and instead of having the best average rating, have the lowest average rating. This is quite interesting to see. So, book number 1. People have probably rated it low because they've had to learn about it in a classroom, I guess. But then again, I've rated it low too. So the first one is Octavia, a play attributed to Seneca. This was a book I read at uni. I can't really remember much about it, so I can't say much about it right now, but I've rated it a 2. So clearly I didn't like this book. But yeah, Octavia is my lowest rated book, which is a play, so yeah. So that's number 1 spot. People have rated that a 3.06, so it looks like a bunch of other people didn't like it either. So at least I wasn't alone there. So the number 2 spot goes to Daughter of Darkness. I can't believe I still have this in my Goodreads list of things I've read personally. But there's a funny story behind this book. I won't go into too much detail, but when me and my partner first started dating, he bought me this because he knew I liked reading and he wasn't a big reader himself back then. And he was just like, oh, Leanne likes vampire books and stuff. This is a vampire book and stuff, so I'll buy it. This book contains incest. Me and Tom were newly dating at the time, and then I read it when he bought it me, and I was like, oh no. But yeah, that was a funny story, and I told him about it and it was a good laugh, so it's something we still remember. One of the first books he ever bought me was had incest in it, so yuck. So I'm aware that things like Game of Thrones also contain incest, so that's not the reason that I hated it, but it's the fact that it was a massive, massive theme of the book, and I don't know if I want to give spoilers to anybody who actually wants to read it, if you want to read it, but it's very it made me very, very uncomfortable the way it was set out. So that's one of the big reasons I didn't like it. The way I mean, Game of Thrones incest also makes me uncomfortable, but this was really, really, really uncomfortable. So just thought I'd slot that in there. But this one comes at a 3.29, which I think is still too high. I rated it a 1, and that rarely happens for me. I rarely rate anything a 1, even back then, so that's number 2. So at number 3, which I'm surprised about, is a Deadpool comic, which comes at 3.30, and it is the Mercs for Deadpool and the Mercs for Money, Volume 0, Merc Madness. I actually really liked this comic. Oh, anything with Deadpool and I like though, so I rated that 4. Other people clearly didn't like it as much, so oh well. Coming up at number 4 is The Sin Eater's Daughter by Melinda Salisbury. I read this ages ago and rated it a 4. And it was the first book of the series and it was actually quite good, I thought anyway. And the average rating for this is 3.48. I got rid of this book because the series just wasn't getting anywhere. I wasn't enjoying the series as a whole, so I unhauled this a while ago. So yeah, I'm not really surprised by that either. So going to number 5 on this list is Deadpool the Makes Some Money Volume 1. Gonna skip that because we've already had one in the series for that. So number 5 I'm gonna say is Once Upon a Dream. I have to agree, I rated this a 2. It's one of the books in the Twisted Tales series, and I don't know, I just wasn't really enjoying it. I know I read the entire book, so that's why I've given it a rating in the first place.
But yeah, I wasn't really enjoying it, and I haven't picked up a Twisted Tail book since. My partner's collecting them and he likes them, but maybe I'll give another one another try someday. But yeah, I'm not surprised by that rating. I did find it a bit. I didn't quite enjoy the story all that much. So this came at a 3.53 as an average rating. So at number 6, we have The Lost Sisters, which is the Folklore series, like a novella 1.5. I got that on my Kindle. I thought it was okay. It wasn't as good as the actual books of the series, I didn't think. And this comes at a 3.53 average rating on Goodreads. I don't really have much feelings on this book, so either which way. I don't really remember what happened either, so clearly it's not memorable. So I'm not quite surprised about that. Number 7 on the list is The Grown Up by Gillian Flynn, and that comes at a 3.57 average rating. I read this as part of George R. R. Martin's like Rogue collection. It wasn't like a wonderful book or anything, so I'm not really surprised it's come at a lower rating. I wasn't quite expecting it to be the lowest because it was okay, but either way, that's what it is. So the next one, number 8, is Charming by Crystal Wade. I have no idea why I read this. I rated it a 1 star again. So 2 books on here are a 1 star now. So yeah, I just didn't enjoy this book at all. I don't know how I got through the entire book, but I somehow did. So yeah, that's made it a number 8. It's a horror book, and it just wasn't a well written horror book. It was very, you could guess what was going to happen next. So yeah, I kind of thought it was boring. At number 9, I thought I got rid of all the books that shall not be named, so I'm going to skip that entirely anyway. So coming in at number 9, I have Between the Lines, and that is a average rating of 3.58 stars. I gave that a 4 stars. I actually really enjoyed it as a little light read, so I'm quite surprised that that's on my lowest ratings. I thought it was quite nice, but hey ho, I mean, I can understand why people don't really care about it. It is quite light and just something you could read whenever. But either way. So coming in at the final spot on my lowest rated is Solitaire by Suseman. Again, I'm quite surprised at this. I think this is her first novel, so that may be why it's coming in at a 3.59 average rating. I mean, I only gave it a 3 stars, so but contemporary isn't my thing, so of course I'm going to give it like a very average star rating. But I mean, I suppose I could tell it was one of her first novels, so hopefully they get better as they go on. I don't know. That's the only one of those I've read. So it's strange how the same author has made it on my top tier and lowest tier books. Interesting. So yeah, that's it for my lowest rated Goodreads reads. A lot of them aren't very memorable, so I can very much understand most of the books on this list, if not all of them. I mean, Deadpool's good. I wouldn't rate it low, but I suppose they aren't the best ones I've read. I've read ones that are much more interesting and held my interest a lot more, because I don't really remember what happens in these ones specifically, so kind of makes sense. But yeah, that's it for my lowest rated Goodreads reads. And there was a couple of little funny stories in there, especially about the incestuous vampires. Yikes. But yeah, thank you very much, guys, for watching. This was my lowest rated Goodreads read, and I'll see you guys in my next video. TTFN. Bye bye.